the unimaginable sorrow that we had this week, the loss of Declan Sullivan. You know, as a father of three, I can only imagine the sorrow and that accompanies the loss of your son. So it's been a very difficult time for me and everybody within our football family. You know, I didn't think we're going to have to go through something like this so close to the tragedy that we had with Matt James. And it's, you know, you think that, you know, you're strong and able to handle all of those things that are thrown at you. This one was very difficult. And all we can do in these very difficult times is what we did, and that's support Declan and his family and rally like we did here at Notre Dame to provide for all those affected with this great loss the opportunity to heal. And, so it's been, from a personal perspective, you know, a very difficult week for all of us. And I focus strictly on the Sullivan family, our football family, and my own family. Really, that's been all the things that have taken up my time since this tragedy occurred. You know, and Declan, you know, quite frankly, I don't know if it's customary or not, but the head coach usually doesn't come in contact on a day-to-day basis with a lot of the videographers. It's just, we seem to pass, you know, they come in and we leave, and our time never really syncs up where we get a chance to spend much time. But I got a chance to meet Declan and know him because of all the time he spent in our offices, especially this summer. As you know, he's a lover of film and writing. He's a great writer, and I've got great memories of him just, you know, being in being in the film and video offices and putting things together secretive on most occasions. I'd look over his shoulder. So I pass that on because this one hurts, because again, in my 20 years, I don't know that I've had maybe a dozen people, student workers that I knew Declan. It was a very, very difficult week for all of us. Extraordinary the way the university has come together. The mass was so good for me and everybody on our football team and our football family and our university, and the leadership that Father Jenkins and Jack Schwarbuck have shown during this very difficult time has helped me and all of those that are associated in our football program. On Wednesday, I made the decision that we could have a productive and safe practice outdoors. Productive because the conditions were such, although windy, were not unlike many days that I had practice at other universities, including here at the University of Notre Dame. Productive practice is important, obviously, within our offense as well. Throwing the football, you have to be able to look at the weather conditions and find out whether you believe it's going to be a productive day first. And we believed it to be productive. It was productive, obviously, up until the tragedy. The next thing that is important is that that it's a safe session. Practice must be safe. And that takes on a litany of different things when you talk about safe. When we're indoors, my biggest concern is always running out on the track or running into an area where there's medical equipment or water bottles, or just the safety of our football team. Outdoors, different weather elements obviously play in that relative to safety as well. You know, whether it's a tornado warning the day before, or it's a lightning storm that's in the area, or the heat index is at a certain number, and certainly wind. All of those elements have to be evaluated in making the decision, which I made the decision that I felt it was productive and safe. And we have systems in place to make certain and that deal with issues of safety. Clearly, in this instance, they failed. And we are in the process of examining all of those systems that are in place and looking for those answers. And that's currently where we are in investigating this tragedy and carefully looking at everything relative to safety. You know, I can't emphasize enough how important it is that when you talk about taking your football team outside, that those items are at the forefront of every coach's, not just me, not just here at the University of Notre Dame. Everybody in the country thinks about the same things, and you know, that's probably the one area, obviously, that you know, we're all grappling with right now. I can recall being out at the practice site, and it was a windy day, but a productive day. And next thing I knew, I heard that the tower was down. First thing that I did is I got to my coaches that were obviously affected by the situation, some of them running around. I gathered the coaches quickly, 2 of them, and said, keep practicing. Because at that point, we had players that were starting to migrate towards the accident scene. And I felt it was very important for me to keep our guys away from that accident scene. And our coaches did a great job of monitoring our players, staying with our players, keeping them preoccupied, as I then left to go to the accident scene. Got to the accident scene and saw that you know, our training staff were with Declan, and I wanted to make certain that that area was in good hands, and it looked like, to me, everything was moving in the right direction. We had Notre Dame responders, we had ambulance responders, and once I felt comfortable in that situation where we had professionals on site dealing with it, I went back inside to the practice field and subsequently called our football team together at midfield. We prayed for Declan. I told and informed our football team of the injury, the seriousness of it, and I then dismissed our football team. That's my best recollection of the events surrounding the accident itself. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of speculation. There's going to be a lot of questions. I'm not really adept at being able to handle some of the specifics. I can tell you that we're working hard to get all those answers, and you know, we're so close to this event occurring that we're still putting together a lot of the information that everybody, I'm sure, is interested in, as we are as well. We're very interested in making sure that we provide, and my staff has been incredible in providing as much information as possible. that's really important. And for me, it was important for me to get a chance to spend time with Declan's family before the Mass, and pass on to them our entire football team's sincere sorrow for what has occurred. It's just a devastating thing for everybody, but it was really important. I wanted to be able to meet the family, and was very, very fortunate to do so. I'm trying to cover as many of the notes that I have scribbled down here. Again, I think the most important things is that, for me, productive and safe, weather-related factors are examined every day relative to that safe atmosphere. We've got systems in place to deal with this, and we're obviously examining them very, very carefully, especially, obviously, wind. So again, I don't have a lot of answers relative to specifics. I'll open it up to some questions.
Just a couple of questions.
Right. When did you realize that it was Declan that was down? Did you know when the practice started?